This week on the Spotlight, All-Star coach Tom Thibodeau talks about his team. He's proud but controlled. And we go back to Sox Fest. Paul Konerko with another installment. Always interesting, always thought-provoking. Then we go back to our 2011 championship match. People are celebrating. That's the Dirty Sock team, by the way. And Coach Ditka in a clip from 1990. Seems like it was just yesterday. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, this is the 23rd year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. The Dirty Sock has great food, great drink, and my trivia game at 93rd and Roberts Road, Thursday, March 1st at 7:30 p.m., and again Wednesday, March 7th at 7:30 p.m. Go have a great time at the Dirty Sock. It's very fun. It's at 93rd and Roberts Road. Want to get a haircut from a great hairstylist? Call mine, Rose Murillo, 312-726-2201. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Be safe with Sureway Insurance Company, 3312 North Milwaukee. Call my friend Jean at 773-282-2022. She has the answers on your auto, home, business, life coverage, including SR22 coverage drivers. Call Sureway Insurance.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I've been a skilled hairstylist for over 10 years. I specialize in men's haircuts and in corrective color. Come visit me at Salon 203 at 203 North LaSalle, 312-726-2201. And while you're at it, come in and get a shoe shine and a shave. It's a great place where a man can be a man. Since 1967, El Jardín has been serving the finest Mexican food. Before, after, or during ball games, located conveniently just 3 blocks south of Wrigley Field, 3335 North Clark. Whether there's a game or not, you still get hungry, and El Jardín has great service, great food, and great drinks. I've enjoyed every meal I've had there, and you will too. So get to El Jardín for great Mexican food at 3335 North Clark Street in Chicago. You'll be glad you did. One of the terms that's been ringing in my ears since Kyle Korver said it to me a month ago was the Bulls are a coachable team. And that was extremely evident in the pregame of the Bulls-Celtics that Danny and I witnessed the other day. And one of the, a couple of the elements that come to mind were Brian Scalabrine and his intense personal workout, then combined with Jimmy Butler and some really fine instruction, but some of the nuances of play in the paint and what Jimmy could get away with and what he'd be called for, because Brian knows. Brian's been called for it all. And it was just a kind of a touching moment of education as the coaches worked with each on their post moves, on them shooting from various parts of the court. And you might be surprised at the intensity of the pregame shooting on a day of a game. To me, I would be concerned, and maybe, and this is because my conditioning is different, of leaving some of it on the practice floor, unable to bring it to the game. But practice makes perfect. And watching Derrick Rose practice from three-point range, back in the day when he was beating Ben Gordon from three-point range, made me realize that there's something to this muscle memory of hitting 10 shots from a spot, going to the locker room, and coming back and doing it for real. But some of that instruction, some of the individual assistant coaches working with the guys, just everybody in sync, and a learning process just before the game in an attempt to apply it to try to knock off another Eastern Conference opponent. If someone had told you you would have had this rash of injuries and still have won this high percentage of games, what would you have said to them?
Well, we've always felt good about our bench. and I think they showed that last year. Whenever they were called upon, they played well. We had a number of injuries last year, and you know, it's part of the game. And these guys are all we feel like they're all quality players. So, and we're fortunate we have a number of guys on our bench who have started before, so the transition is seamless for them. And whenever one guy goes down, the next guy has to step up, and that's what we've done.
That can work for your favor later too, when you guys are obviously back to full strength with these guys.
Yeah, no, obviously we prefer to be at full strength, but again, when you're shorthanded, and everybody goes through it, but we feel very confident that we have more than enough to win with.
What about the challenges of who to put in at certain times, and in reflecting back on so far this season, can you think of a misstep you may have made in that? Because it doesn't seem like you have.
Well, you know, every game reveals something to you. And I think it's important to study to understand why you win and why you lose. And the important thing, I think, is not to change your approach. You strive for improvement each and every day. And you begin the season with the end in mind. You want to be playing your best basketball at the end of the season, and you want to be as healthy as possible. So there's a number of areas in which we can improve, and you know, we're going to strive towards doing that each and every day.
Tom, speaking of what games revealed, Sunday they had 33 fast break points. What did you tell the team about that?
Yeah, you know, it's a great point. I think, you know, your defensive transition, every aspect of your defense is done as a team. It doesn't matter whether it's defensive transition, catch and shoot defense, pick and roll defense, low post defense. So we have to tie everyone together. We have to have floor balance on the raise of the shot. Our bigs have to sprint. We just have to do a better job. We got to get our defense set.
You mentioned earlier, just to paraphrase you, kind of some slippage defensively in the last couple of games. Why do you think that's taking place?
Well, yeah, I think a big part of it is you know, your practice. You know, those are things that you'd like to work on more in practice, and I think at this point of the season, where you know we were on the road for an extended amount of time, and you have a lot of games in a short period of time, you have to take into consideration how much time you have to practice, and whether the practice or the rest is most important. And you know, so you're trying to strike that balance. But everyone's in the same boat, so you're trying to get it done in your film sessions and your meetings. But there's nothing like, you know, doing it in actual practice, and then to see if it carries over to the game. So, but we can't make an excuse for it. We're capable of doing much better, and hopefully we will.
You guys obviously haven't lost too much this season. When this team, you see these guys lose a game, can you tell that they're excited to kind of get out of that team again, like with Boston?
Well, I think we have guys that have a great will to win. So, you know, we're disappointed when we lose. We want to study, learn, and move forward. And, you know, and that's the challenge every night, is to be ready for whoever you're facing and whatever that challenge might be. So we try not to change our approach, get ready for each and every game the same way.
Since 1955, Rosangela's Pizza has been there for you at 95th and California, across from Little Company Mary Hospital. You can call them at 708-422-2041. Everything homemade, including the sauce. Great beef and meatball sandwiches, pasta, chicken, seafood, desserts. Dine in for lunch and dinner. Rosangela's, 95th and California. It's always the season for Riley's Trick Shop at 6442 West 111th in Worth. Or you can call them at 708-448-0075. Right now they have football strip cards, a wide selection of Halloween costumes and tricks and treats. And then for later in the year, Santa suits. So for all your needs, especially Halloween, Riley's Trick Shop on 111th Street. Nuevo Leon, for the best Mexican cuisine since 1962. Serving every day from 7 a.m. to midnight, conveniently located 1515 West 18th Street, just a block east of Ashland in Chicago. Of course, they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a wide range of menu items. Everything from steak, seafood, to breakfast, to chicken, pork, dine-in, carry-out, tacos, enchiladas, everything you can imagine, and great quality at Nuevo Leon, 1515 West 18th. Bring your car to Quick Stop Muffler and Brake at 95th and Pulaski, and they'll fix it right. They also do shocks and struts, free estimates. Call them at 708-423-3700. They're very thorough in their work, and they have very competitive pricing. Quick Stop Muffler and Brake, 95th and Pulaski. Paul Konerko contrasts Robin Ventura and Ozzie Guillen, and I bring up the subject of Adam Dunn and how anybody would deal with him.
I know what I should have been doing all year. I know what I was doing wrong. Sometimes it's tough to pull it off and execute not doing it, but I think he knows. But there are some guys we have in the room here that, can't say, I put it together a great Major League season. I've done this, I've done that. They can't say that yet. I think that's where Robin will probably take some of those anxieties and fears about stuff they haven't done, or the fact that they're worrying about it. A guy like Adam has done it over and over again. So I don't know if, to answer your question, if that's the same kind of guy. But I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to...
See, the irony about Ozzie and Robin is they really kind of came up together, and day-to-day baseball-wise, they should be pretty similar, shouldn't they?
I think what's similar is probably that those guys, and I was like, when I came up in the minor leagues, right as I was making the big leagues, you still were in touch. You still got to touch some of those guys that were old school guys, that were it was hard. Well, those guys came up in that era, so I think that's the similarities. Is they don't really put up with a lot of grief as far as excuses, and Ozzie didn't either. I think there's a certain mindset of how those guys think the game should be played. I don't think Ozzie's any different. I don't think Mark Parent's any different, just in talking to him a little bit. But I just think it's your standard issue sports moment where you have a guy who's been a manager or a head coach of a team for a long time. They had success. They won a world championship. But there's an arc there that it just comes down to where it's just time to make a change. I don't think it has to be all this other dramatic stuff about, well, they had to bring in a guy who does this and that. I just think sometimes when things run its course. And like I said earlier, before 2004, when they hired Ozzie, if everybody said, listen, you're going to have some crazy stuff happen here. You're going to have this happen in 2011, this happened in 2009, all these little things. But in one of those years, you're going to get a World Series out of it. Everybody would have said, we'll take it, with all the bullshit. Everybody would have taken that. So it was a success. Don't let anybody kid anybody about the fact that 7 or 8 years with Ozzie was a failure of some kind. Because I think when it's all over, you draw the line and you add it all up. You could take specific years and say, what about the 09 year? Yeah, that was sucked. What about, that sucked. But if you take a line, you draw it all up, and you add it all up, I got it being a success because of that championship. And I know that's only 1 year, but that's how a guy should be, graded when it's all said and done. And like I said, everybody would have taken that in and out of the organization in this city when we hired him. So I just think it kind of ran its course, and he's going to be doing fine down in Florida. He's going to be closer to home, and all that. And we wish him well. Ozzie, listen, make it clear. He treated me, him and Joey, treated me great. Times when they didn't even have to treat me great, especially early on when they first got here. Times where I wasn't probably earning the right to get treated well, or a veteran guy. They were treating me like one. And so that's, as a player, you don't forget that stuff. Spring trainings, why am I on that bus ride to Tucson, and staying overnight there? People taking care of you. So I remember those things more so than whatever the hell our record was last year when things went bad. As a player, you remember the relationships like that. Mine was always great with Ozzie and Joey.
There's talk that Dunn will be benefited from playing the field more and stuff like that, which would mean that you might have to DH or sit. How do you feel about that?
I don't mind. I DH'd, unfortunately, I DH'd a lot after I got hit in the knee last year, and I didn't like it at first, but I feel like I got a pretty good handle on how to do it after a few weeks. But at this point in my career, I'm up for anything. I don't see myself wanting to sit ever. At that point where I'm at, I don't think I want to sit. If it ever gets to the point where I'm sitting a lot, I would just probably rather go home, because that's better off for me to hang out with the kids. But you get what you earn. You got to play well and hit well to stay on the field. So I plan on doing that. But as far as the first base DH thing, they're going to do whatever they think is best in that. I don't think we're losing or gaining a ton by either one of us in the field. One way or the other. If it means
don't sell yourself short on that.
You played some Gold Glove caliber first base last year.
You played pretty well at the bag. You have. You have.
Well, that's up for them to decide. But for me, For me, I mean, let's be honest. My bread's buttered with a bat. So's Adams, and they're going to make the decisions. I think kind of keep us fresh. I mean, as far as if they feel like I need a DH a couple days to give me a rest to play first. I mean, I guess the answer is I really don't care. I mean, I played enough first base in my life to know I can play first. I've DH'd enough to know I can still get some hits as a DH, whatever. I don't really have an ego about it either way, other than I want to be in there and get my 500 to 600 at bats, because that's what I get paid to do, and I want to be out there for 150 games or 145 games, whatever it is. Other than that, I don't have much of an ego about it all, as far as what they want to do with it.
If you had to do the...
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. You got to get to Kelly's Tavern, where I'll be doing trivia on TV, 4403 South Wallace, Friday, March 2nd. You can join us, and you'll see it on this program next week. I'll be back March 16th at 8 p.m. as well. Come out and play. It's a great place. They even have menus if you want to order some local area food, but they've got the libations at Kelly's Tavern, 4403 South Wallace, my trivia game. Friday, March 2nd, the televised one, March 16th at 8 p.m. also. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Munster, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment. Specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years, excellence, top billiard tables, the place where the action is, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet in Munster. We're back on the spotlight at the 2011 Benkowski Trivia title match. And of course, we are at Salerno's at Grandin Racine. Let's take it away. It was the shortest of the rock era. It got to number 1. It was a 1 minute and 37 seconds. One word title.
Captain Old Style. Or Professor.
That sounds good too.
5 seconds.
Is that it? You sure? Is there another one to go with this?
Going.
No, it's just one.
Going. So sorry. Can you know this?
That's fine.
No, the answer is Stay by Maurice Williams and the Zodiac. All right, one down. You're going for 500. Here we go. The Super Bowl winning NFL coach, now an announcer, who went to high school with Janis Joplin. Five seconds. Going. Going. Ditka. Interesting. Wow. Wow. The answer was Jimmy Johnson. All right, and finally, because of the British invasion in 1964, only one American artist cracked number 1 in the first 5 months in 1964. Tell me that artist's name or their song. Wow. 5 seconds. Going. Going.
Bob Dylan.
Put a lid on it.
Bob Dylan. Interesting.
Call your
dad. The answer was Leslie Gore, It's My Party. So, Kathy Johnny stays at 62. We continue. 3 down. Nice round of applause. Playing Academy Award nominees' real names A. Let's hear it for the Renegades. I will give you another little tidbit. I'll give you their birth year, too. Born in 1932, Michael Shalhoub, better known as Tony Shalhoub. The answer, Omar Sharif. Question number 2. You might want to talk it over a little bit more. 1931. 1931, she was born Rosita Alvario, better known as Rita Hayworth. That's a great try. It's Rita Moreno. And finally, going for 500. He was born in 1893, Emmanuel Goldberg. He died in 1973. He was in a lot of movies. Five seconds. Oh! Going. So sad. What? The answer was Edward G. Robinson. So, no help there. They stay at 8-10. All right. We continue. 4 teams in the books. 5 to go. Nice round of applause. Playing Bears quarterback. I believe. Is that Bears quarterback? Oh no. The 3000 Hit Club beat. Let's hear it for the Dirty Sock. All right, remember, 6 answers altogether.
And we'll have those questions next week on the Spotlight.
I eat pasta twice just...
Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria at Grand and Racine is the place to go before United Center Pavilion, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, and Sox too. Dine in or carry out with great family recipes, including homemade pastas, steaks, seafood, a great fun bar area. Meet people. Have a tremendous time at Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria, Grand and Racine. You'll find a great variety of foods for you to enjoy at Salerno's. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. Lanigan's Irish Pub is the place to be at 3119 West 111th Street, right by Kedzie. Live music on Sunday with Fast Eddie. Drink specials daily, including $1.50 domestic bottles on Thursday, $3 Guinness on Tuesday. Call for karaoke information on Friday. Party room, too. All that available at Lanigan's Irish Pub, 3119 West 111th Street on the beautiful south side of Chicago. Get there, Lanigan's Irish Pub. Lindy's Chili, Gertie's Ice Cream at 110th and Kedzie has it all. From fresh-made burgers, fries, hot dogs, chicken, turkey, Polish, shrimp, tuna, barbecue, ham, tamales, quesadillas. They've got salads and plenty of ice cream with sundaes, banana splits, and seasonal favorites. Get all these things at Lindy's Chili, which is where I start, but I always get a little something extra, at 110th and Kedzie.
Kevin Butler in one of his most clutch performances
appearances as a Bear. Kicked his 4th field goal, a 52-yarder with 4 seconds left, and the Bears prevail over the Vikings in one of the most impressive games played at Soldier Field in recent memory. Mike Ditka should be in a fantastic mood, considering the play of his defense, especially clutch, and I promise to be less out of breath when we go to the locker room and talk to the coach in his tent.
Well, I don't know really. I'm not really, I don't know what to say. I guess when you see a game like that, you see what football is meant to be and what it's all about. It was 2 good football teams who played very hard. Both teams probably deserved to win the game. They did enough good things, and we did enough good things, and yet the mistakes that both teams made really hurt them in the end. I'm just proud of our guys that we hung in there. We talked about it for a long time of playing as a team and not letting things get you down when they go wrong, and they hung in there and they persevered, and as it would have worked out. Kevin got a chance to do the job, and you know, it wasn't his fault on the one that was blocked, that's for sure. That would have been good, but we tried to do what we thought we had to do to beat this football team, and I'm not going to vary off my philosophy. If I think we have to run it 70 plays a game to beat somebody, we'll run it 70 plays a game. But I'm proud of our guys and the way they hung in, and I don't know anything else that I can say.
You people would have been in for a treat had we have scored that 37-yard field goal, because the guy, his number 72, would have kicked off that time, and I think he'd have probably been up here instead. You know, in all seriousness, he was going to kick off again because, you know, my job is to score points, and we can't jeopardize that because of kickoffs, but I can't tell you how good our 11 guys, 10 guys on the kickoff team are covering, because I'm not kicking the ball very well at all in kickoffs.
Is there a better feeling than hitting a 52-yarder to win it?
Well, you know, it ranks up in my career with any other long kick that wins the game, or you know, matter of fact, any kick that wins the game, because when you make them, that's it's a great burden. It's probably a great relief off my wife's shoulders. She doesn't have to put up with me this week, so it's just really good because you know, we've gone through so much adversity. People don't expect much from us, but we expect a lot from ourselves, and the defense just played tremendous. And if you saw how Minnesota kind of kicked it in gear in the 4th quarter, we're going to be up against a lot of teams like that, and we have to learn how to kick it in gear in 4th quarter, and I think it was a big step for us today.
And with Neil Anderson somewhat ailing, Brad Muster stepped in and had a tremendous day running the football. What'd you think about it, Brad?
I just think last year's hard season brought the guys together, and I think we're focused in on what we want to accomplish. And you know, if we stay away from injuries like we did last year, then you know, we're going to be real good. But nobody wants to go through a 6-10 season again, and I think it was pretty evident in the way we played today.
Physically, are you 100% health-wise?
No, I'm still fighting some back trouble, and that's to be expected all year. I guess my doctor and Jimbo Covert pretty much briefed me on that. But you know, I'm playing well, and you know, I'm contributing well, so you know, I'm not really slowed down by it.
Every day.
Sure, yeah, I try to practice every day. You know, it's nothing that's going to debilitate me in the long run. I just got to go through and you know, try to deal with what I have.
Brad, a couple years back, you were criticized for your straight-up running style, but you were doing that very effectively, obviously, today.
Yeah, I don't think I changed at all. You know, I was straight up a couple times. I got pushed back, but you know, that's just the way I run, and probably because I'm 6'4" and the other guys are 6 feet that are trying to tackle me, I just look a little taller. But you know, I think you look around at anybody, and you know.
And that's all the time we have. We'll see you next week. This week's show brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop.
Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero.
Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound, saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.